Hi Ugandans, welcome to the Civic Classroom. It has been long since we last talked, and today we are going to talk about the Sovereignty Bill 2026. So many people are so excited about this bill. Oh, we are going to be independent from foreign interference. Oh, what and what. But have you ever gotten time to sit down and read this bill? You know, it's just packaged well. But if you go deep into this bill, there is a lot inside this bill. So join me today as I try to break down and discuss this bill so that you can understand what you are being excited about. Because before you know, you are going to become a foreigner in your own country. You who is living in diaspora, you need to pay attention. And even you Ugandans who are depending on your relatives that are abroad, you need to pay attention to this bill. Stop the excitement. Listen, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. On paper, this bill is being presented as a law that is trying to restrict Uganda from foreign interference. Who doesn't want that? Who? We all want that. It is also being presented as a law to make sure that the decisions affecting the country are made independently without outside interference. That sounds good. And who doesn't want that? Any patriotic Ugandan would love to see that and would love their country to be independent. We all want that. But as you dig deep into this law, it is something else. So when you go deeper into this bill and read it and sit down and understand it very well, it's not about, the sovereignty bill is not about protection from outside interference. It's about control. This is not protection, it is control. Control over who gets support, who gets to speak, who gets to exist, who gets support from outside countries. This is what it's all about. Because let's be honest, so many Ugandans survive because of global connections. And we can't even deny that. We can't. Even our own government survives because of foreign donations. Because we have over 200 companies sending and exporting Ugandans abroad. These companies are not just existing on their own. They are clearly registered by the same government, cleared by the same government to do this work, to send workers abroad. These workers are sustaining families, paying school fees for their children at home. These workers are paying medical fees for their mothers, sisters, and brothers back home. They have families to take care. So these young women and men are not just traveling. They are going abroad to work for their families, to work for their children, to work for their parents, to build houses, to send money back home. But then there is this sovereignty bill that is going to make them foreigners in their own country. The bill is going to make them foreigners wherever they will be, but they will be foreigners back in their country. So how does this bill restricting external support, claiming to help Ugandans, how are the families of the people working abroad going to live? How are the people abroad, Ugandans in the diaspora, are going to sustain their families back home if you're restricting external support? If you're restricting external help, how are you helping Ugandans in the diaspora and even Ugandans at home, depending on the Ugandans in the diaspora? That is contradiction. A government that claims to help its people cannot cut off external support. That is contradiction, and this bill is here to make sure that you do not get support from your sibling that is working from abroad. And it does not stop there. The same government that is restricting external support from outside the country gets funding and donations from foreign, let's say, global connections. They get donations to run institutions. They get support to run this government. So how do you claim to cut off external support? To cut off external influence and whatever you are packaging it, when you know very well that this government cannot live without external support? Our budget is full of loans. We are living on loans. We have a budgeted, we have a planned loan, like a budgeted loan that we are living on, that is sustaining this country. It's not from within. It came from the external support that you are trying to restrict. Maybe this bill is going to work on common Ugandans, but it's not going to work on you who are blaming it. So let's talk about NGOs. Uganda has hundreds of NGOs legally registered and approved by the same government that is cutting off external support and restricting the flow of cash in the country from outside countries. These NGOs receive external support, let's call it funding, to deliver the services the state has failed to deliver. To fund education, we have so many NGOs that are funding education in this country, that are funding the health sector in this country. Organizations receive this money to do these things that our own government has failed to do, has failed to deliver, the services that you have failed to deliver. These NGOs deliver these services, but you are cutting off. You are cutting off this help. Do you know how many people that are going to die? Do you know how many children that are going to drop out of school? Do you know how many women are not going to be able to raise their children? Do you know how many lives you are affecting by cutting off external support? When you sit down and look into this bill, do you feel this bill is going to better this country or is going to take it down the road? This bill is not going to better this country. The bill that cuts off global connections, the bill that makes us marginalized, the bill that puts us down the pit, it's not going to do us any good. It's going to dig us under the pit. When you restrict the flow of resources, you're not protecting the sovereignty. You're not doing it. You're cutting off lives. You're isolating Ugandans. You're marginalizing them. Because if the flow of resources is restricted to communities, to organizations, NGOs, to Ugandans, let me say it like that, then you're cutting them off from the global connections. You're cutting them off from their dreams. You're shutting dreams down knowingly, because I don't think you are doing it unknowingly. You are making them beggars so that they can be easy to be controlled. They can become easy to be ruled, to be controlled. Why do you do this at the expense of the people that you claim to love and help? Because a population that is economically strained, disconnected, is easier to be manipulated and to be controlled. We should reject this sovereignty bill because it is not here to help us. It's not even about protecting sovereignty. It's about control of who has access to global connections, of who has access to global resources. We should reject it with everything that we have in us as Ugandans. Because this is not about rejecting foreign influence. It's about who is allowed to benefit from global connections. And that's the government, not the people. That's what they are trying to do. To keep you beggars, to manipulate you more and more. So I have a question to this government. Are you protecting the country or you are protecting the power? Because this bill is not about protection. It's about protecting your power. Protecting who you should allow to have connections globally. So, I call upon Ugandans to reject this bill. Thank you so much.